Lexington Catholic High School.
That's right.
On this wet and windy October day where most people would rather be inside. But
it's a great day for Frisbee. It's pretty much every day I played Frisbee.
The kids are out in the field warming up, and they are loving it. I'm joined here with Josh Penrose.
How's it going?
Class of 2004.
2004. We helped bring the team to where it is now, I guess. We started that, I guess. It was about my freshman year that the club started with you. Good team. Solid.
So Catholic's been going for maybe 11 years or so, maybe? 12?
About 11 years now. Matt Brown's coaching now, that's right, yeah. He was 1 year below me, so I played with him in high school. It's good stuff.
What got you into Ultimate Frisbee? Had you played Ultimate Frisbee before high school, or?
I had played Ultimate Frisbee a couple of times before high school with like pickup teams at UK with my mom. So I'm very interested when I heard about it. I want to say Patrick Fromm. I know it was like Adam Bowling, Drill and Gajani. They were all part of the early team with us, so it was good.
Right. Lots of schools start programs and then they kind of drop off, but Catholic's been going strong. And so what's kept you playing Ultimate Frisbee all these years? You're still playing, right?
I still play Frisbee. I don't play a lot of Ultimate Frisbee. I play a lot more of the laid-back, we call it not so ultimate. Good friends, good times, stay in shape. It's a lot of fun. It's not, you don't have to play as strict rules as what we're going to see tonight, but...
Right. Apparently a lot of your Catholic friends and some that came after you are still playing with your group. You want to name some of those guys that come out and play? You guys play at the Henry Clay Estate?
We play at the Henry Clay Estate every Wednesday and Friday. I still see Michael Copy out there. Adam Bowling's come out a couple of times. We've got Ben Jacoby. His brother's come out a couple of times. Chris Walker's come out. We've also had probably a few others. There's a lot of Catholic kids that showed up. Brad Hagedorn, he was another one that showed up.
Very cool.
Yeah. But I'm excited to see some really good Frisbee tonight.
Yeah, what do you expect tonight? It's been a while.
It's a lot of rain and stuff, so it could be anybody's game. It doesn't look like it's too windy. That's good. So, but I expect to see some, zone defense and stuff.
Some zone defense, and maybe some man, and
yeah.
We'll see how those young players handle the wind, huh?
Yeah, and the rain. It's slick out there, so they should enjoy that. Most of our tournaments, I think, were in the rain.
Right?
Yeah.
You want to say anything about the first tournament Lexington Catholic ever went to in Ohio, Versailles, Ohio?
Yeah, our first tournament, we got there at like a Friday night we got there, and it was okay. And then Saturday it just started raining, and it didn't stop raining. It just kept on raining. And we set up tents. We were camping that whole weekend, and a bunch of people's tents flooded out. I slept in the van. I know that. So, but I mean, everybody was just soaking wet. I think we came in dead last. Scored a couple of points, I think, total in the whole tournament. So
I heard it was exciting getting those first points.
That was a good time. That made us feel really good. Big, strong. But yeah, it was only a couple of points. But it was still lots of fun, and then we kept on playing. And I think we were playing like 7 days a week for the most part during high school. Right. And like all summer long and everything too, so.
Well, Catholic's come a long way. Multiple state championships and traveled all over. And,
I know.
And kids have played for all kinds of colleges and club teams. So.
I like seeing all the drills being run out there and stuff. We didn't do any of that. When we first started, we were lucky to run a lap. So, yeah, you didn't get a lot of running out of us.
It's good to see you. Thanks for stopping by.
Good seeing you.
was not expecting to be on camera this much. This is my second time, so Lord have mercy. I would have gotten my hair cut. All right, we're joined by Darren Graves of the Cincinnati Revolution. It's so good to have him come down and visit.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. We love being all around Ultimate, so it's a great pleasure to be here.
Yeah, what do you think of this weather?
It's a little nasty, but Ultimate wouldn't be fun without some bad weather like this. So
I bet you wouldn't mind being out on the field right now.
Oh no, I would love to be.
Well, hey, I don't know a whole lot about your experience. I've seen you on the field, and it's exciting watching you play for Revolution, seeing all the guys get on the team, and a lot of people don't even know there's a professional team. And so I was just wondering if you might say a little bit about kind of the ups and downs of playing on a pro team, and maybe how that compares to your time at Louisville and also U of L.
Yeah, the pro circuit, the pro division, all of it is a lot different. It's a lot more competitive. Coming up in Louisville, there's not really a huge Ultimate scene, and playing at U of L, where again it's not very competitive. There's we play against UK and some of the local teams. It's not very big. And playing Louisville, jumping to club level where everyone starts to take it seriously. There's more of a drive. There's more competitive nature to it. There's always that one or two guys you have to watch out for on the team. And then going to this pro where the field's much bigger and everybody is a stud. Everybody has that competitive edge. Everybody has the skills to make every throw, every decision-making players on that field, and it's a completely different game, and it's a lot of fun.
Is there a lot more role playing on the professional level, or would you say it's kind of the same as the club level with the bigger rosters?
For the pro level, you really have to fall into a role. I wasn't a stud, I wasn't a stat stuffer, but I've got my role and performed it to the best of my ability. So it's really falling into where you fit in with the team, and that's what I try to do my best at.
It's amazing how many roles it takes to build the chemistry for a good team.
Yeah, there's a lot of different things. It's a lot different than club, where it's a bunch of guys getting together and you kind of know who is the guy. But in this pro level, there's you really fall into what you have to do for the team, and you have to do it quickly. There's only 12, 14 games in the season, so you don't get to go to a tournament and play 5 games in one day. It's just one game.
One game.
Timed, everything matters. You have to go out there and play 100%, and one mistake and the other team could take advantage really fast. So
it just seems like that'd be a different psychological game, that you might get a few points versus playing all day. It's just a different type of mindset, I guess.
Yeah, you have to be really hard and accept the fact that you'll play 1.5 points, or you might play every 1.5 points, or it's just you have to be really ready, and when they call your name and your number, you have to be ready to go.
Right. Did you play in high school? You got anything to say about the high school scene, or how it's developing?
I started when I was 17 years old at Eastern High School. We weren't anything like the guys we're out to see today, but it was for fun. It was kind of just like a joke, like, oh, we're going to pick up and we're going to play together. And we went to my first ever tournament was Swill in the Ville in Louisville in 2008 or 2007, one of the two. And I got to see some of the great Kentucky Ultimate players, and that really put things into perspective for me as a high schooler, that I could really play this sport competitively, really take it seriously. This is just for fun. And I credit a lot of the people that I saw at that first tournament with where I am now. Because if I hadn't seen them, or I hadn't watched and really got a great interest in it, that I wouldn't have taken the sport seriously. So,
So what do you think of Matt Brown, former teammate, Lexington Catholic grad, coaching the Knights?
Guy. Love Matt Brown. He's a great guy. He taught me a lot as well. You don't have to be the tallest guy or the fastest guy.
That's right.
Be a great decision maker, and Matt Brown is just a great guy. And coaching out here, doing what he can for the Lexington community, I love it.
Thanks so much for going on camera, and we look forward to you throwing some discs out maybe around halftime or something like that.
Absolutely. I'd love, like I said, love being around Ultimate, love seeing the drive and passion these high schoolers have, and can't wait to see what they can do.
Thanks a lot, Darren.
No problem. Awesome. Not too bad.
Thanks, man.
everybody could please take a moment of silence, we're going to have Ryan Pultz for a quick prayer.
Good evening. My name is Ryan Pultz. I work in the Spiritual Life Office here, and I'm a proud member of Bonaventure House. Yesterday marked Kern. Mrs. Kern was the junior guidance counselor here at LCHS, and she was a great supporter of the Ultimate Frisbee team when her son Spencer played. Let us take a moment of silence now to remember Mrs. Kern and her family and friends who still mourn her passing. May she rest in peace. And now let us pray in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Good and gracious God, we love you and we thank you for the spirit of joy and athleticism of this amazing sport of Ultimate Frisbee. We know you blessed us to come together tonight to represent these teams, and we thank you for friendship, ability, effort, and the devotion of these athletes. We ask you to bless these teams tonight with good sportsmanship and protection from injury. Also, bless our students here in support of the house system as they come together to support their classmates and build school spirit. We ask all this through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Thank you, Ryan. And if the players could get ready, we'll be starting soon. It looks like it was odd. It seems like Lexington Catholic will be pulling the disc. Nope, receiving.
It is a wet and windy evening here at Lexington Catholic High School. Lexington Catholic was last year's state champions, 2014. And Team Pie, homeschool, Central Kentucky, was 2015 state champs. So we have the battle of the state champs this evening. It'll be interesting to see how these young men and women handle the disc. We're playing a little modified format. Either 5 guys and 2 girls or 6 guys and 2 girls. Offense will decide. Unlike traditional Ultimate, we will be playing with 40-minute halves, and there will only be a few stoppages of play. We will take a 10-minute half. And so we're basically going by the AUDL rules, if you know anything about the American Ultimate Disc League. If you were a new Ultimate Frisbee viewer, the game has components of other sports. I like to describe Ultimate Frisbee as everyone getting a chance to play quarterback and wide receiver. You may not run with the disc, so after the kickoff or the pull, players advance the disc by passing to one another, but once you possess the disc, you must stop. Players make their own calls, and there's a high emphasis on the spirit of the games and mutual respect between teammates. My name is David Wu. This is a marquee event. It's a house-sponsored event here at Lexington Catholic. This is a marquee event, and we have some students out here in the rain that are here to cheer on the players, and I'm joined up here in the ticket booth by Brian Hawes, longtime player. How long have you been playing, Brian?
I've been playing around 15 years.
All right. That's about how old some of these kids are out here.
I know. I feel old when I'm around them. But it's good. I had a lot of fun last weekend helping coach. The the Pi team. They've really made tremendous strides over the last year and even 6 months since the last time I've really played with them. So helping coach and watching them develop has been a real joy.
You've worn a lot of different hats over the years. What are some of those hats in the Ultimate Frisbee community?
Well, I started out playing college at UK, and then from there kind of graduated to playing on and helping lead the open team 10 years ago or more. At that point, I also started getting into Summer League and helping run the Bluegrass Summer League. Oh.
Well, looks like they're about getting ready to start. I'm going to go ahead and mention some of the sponsors for this event. This is brought to you by Night Vision, and our sponsors are White, Greer, and Maggard Orthodontics, Collins Bowling Center, both at Eastland and Southland, Traditional Bank, and Lexington Clinic. We thank you for sponsoring this event. Catholic and Pi have met 4 times in the last year, and they went 2-2. Catholics won twice, and Pi has won twice, and I believe there hasn't been a game closer than 3 points. In the city championship, Lexington Catholic won on Universe Point, which was a tie game, and they won the final point. And at the state championship, Pi beat Lexington Catholic by 2 points early in pool play. Looks like Mason Montgomery is getting ready for the pool.
Normally, Ultimate Frisbee is played to a score total. Tonight, we'll be using 9 halves in the interest of getting everybody out of this weather. We'll be using 2 40-minute halves. Okay, sure. Halftime. If the game is tied at the end, there will be 1 sudden death point following the second half.
So I get closer to the window. And the pool is up and out of bounds. So the disc is played where it crosses the line, taken either on the sideline or the middle of the field. Lexington Catholic has real good field position. Captain Jake Carrico is handling. Jake Hughes, D by Mason Montgomery. Caleb Montgomery with the disc to Nate Maddox. Jacob Taylor to Mason Montgomery. Lots of in cuts on this wet night. And Josh Wu corrals that in.
It looks like Lexington Pi is using what is known as a vertical stack offense as they work it towards the center of the field.
And Jacob Taylor, the stall count's getting high, swings it to Nate Maddox and to Josh Wu. It's got to be hard to hold on to that. And it's a score. Mason Montgomery. So, Brian, what do you think we're going to see? Lots of horizontal stack, vertical stack, zone?
I would imagine you would see lots of zone. You should see lots of, on offense, nice patient in cuts. And that's kind of what we saw in the first point between both teams, with varying degrees of success.
I guess according to the flag there, the wind is kind of blowing left to right, so it seems like it's going to be a lot more difficult to move it to the left side of the field than to the right.
Yeah, the disc is also going to tend to be forced toward the stands because the wind is coming left to right, but also slightly back toward the. It looks like it was moving out, stopped. Looks like it's swirling a bit, actually.
So, Brian, say somebody's watching tonight and they want to get into Ultimate Frisbee. Where can they play in town, or what seasons can they play?
There's a couple of different options. There's various pickup opportunities throughout the city during the week, several different nights. There is also the opportunity to go on, if you wanted to know more precisely what nights, on bluegrassultimate.org. We tend to keep that up to date as far as the various opportunities around town. During the summer months, from around mid-June or late May to mid-June until early August, we have a summer league that runs, and that's run off that website, so you can always find information about that.
Great. If you live out towards Frankfurt, I hear the Frankfurt Frostbite League, the registration just opened yesterday.
Yep, and I did not do that last year, but I heard it was a lot of fun.
Lots of fun. Lexington Catholic with possession now. They're in a vertical stack. I think that's Joey Newsel with the disc. Jake Carrico running the offense. Ooh, good cut by Jake Hughes, covered by team captain Mason Montgomery.
Ooh.
High back.
Overthrew him a little bit.
Almost with the break on the high backhand. If you'll notice, the field is a little thinner than the football field. It is a 40-yard wide field, and Caleb with a nice saving layout there. Sharon Archie with the in cut number 21, looking for help. Mason comes back for the dump. It goes to Jacob Taylor, number 20.
Oh.
And a turnover. Lexington Catholic takes possession. Got several Jakes out there. Another turnover. Jake Carrico is being covered by Jake McEachern, number 2. I believe we have 4 Jakes on the field right now, Brian.
Hard to keep track of them all.
And the disc is up. Nate Maddox is in possession. Dump to Josh Wu. To Jake Taylor.
Nice. We're noticing the consistent in cuts from the stack again, as we kind of thought there might be with the wind and the rain. Oh,
and another high backhand for a turnover. Those floaters are tough in this wind.
Is there a time limit for those guys to release the Frisbee once they're guarded?
There is a 10-second stall count, and at the 10th second it is a turnover, similar to Mississippi's in backyard football if you're rushing the quarterback.
And there's another turnover.
It's pretty good defense out there,
yeah,
with the wind and the rain and tight D.
And
the disc is up.
Going for it. Oh,
and
not quite.
Another turnover.
Nice bid.
Looks like that was number 2, Jacob McEachern. Jake Carrico takes over, and D by Nate Maddox.
There it is.
And number 20 for the score. Jacob Taylor. Looks like we're about 7.5 minutes into the game, almost 8 minutes into the game. 2-0. Pie over Lexington Catholic.
It looks like we're seeing a lot of substitutions.
Just doing a mic check here. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you, but you can't hear anything on that one, on the other one as far as.
Gotcha.
I know. So let's turn it off. This is really loud, yeah.
Hopefully we'll be able to turn things around on this next point.
We got some subs coming into the game. Looks like Rebecca Taylor
Looks like they're going to play.
has come in for Sharon Archie on Pie.
So who came up with the team names? I was just curious as a guy that's not used to the sport, outside looking in. How do you
Well,
come
the
up with
Knights.
That's easy.
obviously, the Knights are the Knights. But
Well, back in the day, Matt Brown had an art student, one of the hockey players, draw up a figure of a knight laying out. So we kind of went with the Flying Knights, and Team Pie was kind of a homeschool thing.
Turnover.
and I can see, I've already seen a couple of plays today, that resemble that logo. These guys just laying out for that Frisbee.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, especially in this wet weather. That ground is a little more forgiving than when it's dry.
Now, is the correct way to say it, is it a Frisbee or is it considered a disc?
You want to take that one, Brian?
Not really, but either one's an acceptable nomenclature. I think most people would probably use the phrasing disc. The requirements are for it to be an ultimate disc. It needs to be 175 grams, and I believe that now
Turnover in the end zone there.
Yeah, it used to be there was only Discraft was the only manufacturer, but I believe that now the Whammo ones are acceptable.
Discraft and a Whammo thing.
Yeah.
Whammo owned the rights to Frisbee, so
Yeah.
early on we went with Disc Sports. Now it's kind of both.
Disc sports have been really gaining a lot of popularity here lately too, right?
Yes, disc golf is healthy in Lexington as well.
Yeah, there's any number of, I'm not sure how many other, probably 4 or 5 different courses in Lexington that I know of. It's pretty much all the big city parks have a course now, as well as a few other courses.
I know there's one at Shiloh, and then there's a really nice one actually there just across the county line in Nicholasville there.
Yes. Looks like after a few turnovers, Pie is up 3-0.
So, guys, while we got a second, let's thank some of our sponsors. We do want to thank Collins Bowling Centers. You can get them over there. Check them out at Eastland Lanes and Southland Lanes. And
Thanks a lot for joining us, Brian.
No, thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right.
Brian going to step out for a second, but want to thank those fine sponsors on the network. Traditional Bank, Lexington Clinic, want to thank them as well. And White Greer and Maggard Orthodontics, want to thank them as well. Matter of fact, all of the PrepSpin broadcasts are brought to you in HD for White Greer and Maggard.
And the disc is up. Probably the best pull yet, rolling out the back. That'll be taken on the front line. We are joined by alum Mike Rudy. It's good to see you, Mike.
How you doing, Mr. Wu?
Pretty good on this wet day. And Catholic is getting a little bit of flow going here.
So, Mr. Wu, let me ask you this. Is Team Pie, are they affiliated with another school? Or
They are basically the homeschoolers in Central Kentucky.
Okay.
We have some from the surrounding area, from Richmond and Winchester, but most. Ooh, a laying bid. Jake Hughes has possession to Jake Carrico.
Nice one-handed grab.
Catholic's moving upfield. There's a little break. Sophie Tanier looked open for a second. So, Mike, it's been a while since you played on this field, huh?
It's been a while. I miss it.
And Luke Bolton with the catch.
I really can't believe the talent Team Pie has. A very young team, aren't they?
They're pretty young. There are only 2 seniors on the team right now.
Long pass to Pie, short is out of bounds. And the Knights will take back over.
Jake Carrico with the disc to Jake Hughes.
Great break.
Ooh, and he saves it. Little give and go. The Jakes, Jake Hughes and Jake Carrico, are clearly the most experienced athletic Catholic players. And there's a D from Seth McDaniel. Jared McKay to Benjamin Lindmuth, and there's a turn.
A nice hand block from the Flying Knights. They'll take over just short of the
Hopefully a chance for Catholic to get a point.
And the disc is up. Oh, and turned again. Had a really good shot at Jake Hughes there. Benjamin Lindmuth with the end cup. Cut. Joey Newsel right on him. I believe Joey started his playing at TLS under Mr. Griggs. Jared McKay with the disc, being covered by John Thiesing. Oh, and another turn. This is a long point here.
These wet conditions, not easy to play in.
Working against both teams.
I've lost track of the turns. That disc must be really slippery.
And fatigue is setting in.
Seth McDaniel with the disc. And Luke Bolton. Pretty tight coverage. Oh, and Jake Carrico with the D.
Jake Carrico says, not in my house.
So, Mike, after the point, I want to ask you about your time at UK, all those years.
Yeah, 5 long seasons.
Jared McKay with the disc. And to Seth McDaniel. And to Luke Bolton again. And a swing to Jared. And then to, almost to Rebecca Taylor there.
So is the Ultimate Frisbee at UK, for example, is that considered club, or is it official sport over there that you can earn scholarships for?
You can't earn scholarships at UK. However, there are schools throughout the country that supply scholarships to some Ultimate players. UNC Wilmington, Pittsburgh, Stanford, really great Ultimate universities. But technically, all Ultimate teams are club sports at all universities. No NCAA affiliation.
Gotcha.
A lot of dump swings today.
Oh, great break.
I certainly find it very interesting, you know, again, from a guy that's never seen it played before, but I do like the pace of the game.
We're about 18 minutes in. It's 3-0 Team Pie. Lots of turnovers. Maybe some first half jitters. But Catholic is almost in the red zone here. Joey Newsel, little giving. Oh, yes.
Oh, great catch.
Carrico to, yes. The Knights are on the board.
It was a beautiful catch there in the end zone.
Mike, tell us about your time at UK. Lots of tournaments.
Lots of tournaments.
Didn't you captain at UK some?
Yeah, we started out a really small team at UK, you know, not as developed as some of the other bigger schools around the country, but became captain and president junior year and really grew the team to a lot more students. This year we have a varsity and junior varsity squads, and we travel all around the country. Chicago, St. Louis, Atlanta, Georgia.
You and Michael Haar, also Lexington Catholic grad, and a few others have really built up the program over the years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, really excited to be back here watching my old team play. I miss playing under the lights.
I believe I heard from one of the neighbors over there near UK that they saw an army of maybe 30 or 40 this year out there practicing. We've come a long way from just 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, as a freshman, you know, we'd be lucky to get 15, 18 out there. This year, it's hard to keep up with everybody. I mean, some practices are 40, 50 deep. You know, we're sending multiple teams to tournaments, going up to Columbus next weekend.
Right. Are you seeing more kids that come in with experience, or are you still seeing a whole lot of rookies that are learning the game from the bottom up?
You know, we see both. But with more numbers comes more talent. And certainly with the expansion of the high school system here in Kentucky, you know, every player we get from Lexington Catholic or Henry Clay or hopefully Pie soon, they have a lot more talent to bring. You know, we get to start out at higher level.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my hope is that some elementary school kids out here watching are going to fall in love with this game and dream about a day where they can play in front of night vision and go on to play in college as well.
Yeah, represent their school, represent their university.
Lexington Catholic with their first defensive line.
Caleb Montgomery to August Dutil. August Dutil has only been playing for 2 weeks. It's good to see him out there. It's amazing. Some of these kids have been playing 4 months or less than a year, and they just love it.
It's great to see him grow. It really is.
I believe the 3 ladies on Catholic's rosters are all seniors, and it's good to see that senior leadership along with the 3 senior boys.
Mm-hmm. And we've got a thriving women's scene at the university too, and we're excited to get men and women out playing.
Catholic has an opportunity. It's 3-1 Pie. We're about halfway through this first half. Catholic's getting some quick passes off. Ooh. Everything's self-called in Ultimate, and
he calls himself in.
Oftentimes when a player isn't sure, they ask for best perspective, and it is not uncommon to even ask your opponent. There's a high level of integrity stressed in Ultimate Frisbee. Looked like it was a not-in call there on the line. Looking for somebody. And a catch.
Knights are back in it.
It is 3-2.
As you all may have noticed, the sport of ultimate and referee or umpire like many other sports.
I believe that was Mike Drummond.
Calls are made
Number
off the
20, I
field by
believe,
the
who that
Number
is.
20?
Yes, sir.
Mike Drummond.
and they are held
He's also a
to
member of the
standards
disc golf team.
I didn't know they had a disc golf team at Lexington Catholic these days.
on that pass point.
Yeah, we've had one for a few years. It's
Okay.
still kind of budding, still new.
In one
Showing my
case,
age.
as in the field of play, and then on the next throw, out, as in not yet scored.
We certainly want to thank everybody for tuning in. We got a lot of people tuning in tonight, and just want to thank the folks for supporting us tonight.
Of the first half, Lexington Catholic has cut homeschool Pies lead down to just one.
Both Coach Barb Maloney and Matt Brown are grads of Lexington Catholic. I actually played with you, Mike. You remember anything about Matt Brown or Barb, or were they kind of after your time? I'm trying to remember.
I played with Matt Brown in the summer. I played with Barb in summer league, and she coached me my senior year. I
Oh,
think.
yeah.
She helped.
Yes,
coach.
she did.
Yeah, so a lot of experience with those two great players. Not too many throwers better in the state than Matt Brown, and Barb is just such a solid cutter and thrower as well.
Pies working it up the field here to Jacob McEachern, and looks like it slipped out of his hand there.
Here's a chance for Catholic to tie it up.
Barb Maloney actually won or was recognized as Coach of the Year in the region of Kentucky this year,
Oh, wow.
along with Jake Carrico, who was recognized as first team honoree for Lexington Catholic.
They didn't have those type of honors back when I was playing. Sport's grown so much.
Tell us about the Callahan Award, the equivalent of the Heisman Trophy in college ultimate.
Yeah, so the Callahan goes to most valuable player in college ultimate every year. Last year was Jimmy Mickle out of Colorado. The year before, I think, was Dylan Freechild out of Oregon. Amazing
Right.
players. And then, they go on to play in the club series in the summer with grown men, adults. And these 21-year-olds, 22-year-olds are lighting it up. They're crazy good.
That's exciting. The Callahan move, I think named after Henry Callahan, I believe, is an interception in the end zone, which is the only point that you can score without the help of a teammate. Another turnover there. Opportunity for Pye to try to get in the end zone. And another turnover.
Almost for naught as a diving Pie player attempts to make a catch. But instead, the Flying Knights will take over at the front of the end zone.
Oh, diving D.
It'll be interesting to see if Pye runs a play on the end zone, or there's one timeout a half in this modified format.
Setting up a play.
It's dumped to Lizzie Hibbard and into the score to Nate Maddox. Mike, thanks for joining me up here. It'll be good to see your buddy Michael Haar and also Preston Goulson. We'll say a little more about the UK things that are going on. And anything you want to say to the young kid that's thinking about playing Ultimate Frisbee? I know you played a lot of basketball and maybe some other sports before getting into Ultimate.
Hey, in Ultimate, you can take it anywhere you want to go. I've played internationally. I've played semi-professionally. And, you can go out there, have fun. You can go out and, compete against the best in the world. So that's all I got to say. It was great being here.
Thanks a lot for coming, Mike.
Thanks.
It is 4-2. Team Pie over Lexington Catholic. We have about 12 minutes till the half. No timeouts have been taken. Seems like the wind and the rain really has been a factor. And I'm joined now by
Should I sing?
Michael Haar,
Another strong
How are you
pull,
doing?
and the
another
Flyers
former
try to
Lexington
put
Catholic
the
player.
score.
Very glad to be here. It's pretty awesome seeing my ex-team playing right now.
Jake Hughes also runs track. Oh, another turnover. Josh Wu looking for a cutter to Christy Cochran, who's open for the cut. Little gender mismatch. Oh, to looks like Sharon Archie. Dump to Mason Montgomery, captain of Team Pie. And a throw to Nate Maddox for the score. Which
Great
makes it
score by
5-2.
Team Pie.
Right back with another score.
Well, Mike, what's it like coaching UK? Did you coach last year too, or?
This is my second year coaching UK. I captained for 3 years, went into coaching my fifth year of college, and now I'm coaching again this year.
How's it different? It's obviously a lot different coaching than captaining and just playing.
Yes, it is. That first year, the transition from playing to coaching, all I wanted to do was step on the field and show them what I would do in that situation. But being able to talk to them and tell them what to do instead, it's a very strange transition.
Right.
It's so much fun, though.
What was it like your first year, freshman year, going out to the college team, playing for UK?
My freshman year of college was very different from high school. It was actually less structured than my high school squad. High school, we had a plan for practice every time. We knew what we were doing every time. Going into college, it was a little bit disorganized, but as the year went on and as my years in college went on, we slowly got more and more structured.
I'm really impressed by a lot of the techniques you guys have implemented over the years with training and the bands, a lot of stuff similar to football and other athletic sports. You want to say anything about that?
We got some training equipment from a guy named Pete Dreisbach with Edge Ultimate right now, and we used it over our winter season or our winter off season to increase power, speed, agility, all that sort of stuff. And really, it paid off quite a bit. A lot of band training, a lot of weight training, all that stuff in the off season is making us a lot stronger, a lot faster.
It just seems like with the hops and the quick cuts that all that training, if anything, just the placebo effect of knowing. Oh, there's a D from Mason Montgomery and
a great
layout bid for a save. They're playing hard.
And it's always tough to play in the rain and the wind, and these kids are handling it really
well. And in front of really a bunch of fans for Ultimate Frisbee on this wet night. A hammer, first hammer of the night.
A nice hammer throw. Almost connects for a long game.
The biggest transition that I noticed from high school to college was just the athleticism, which is why we started to increase our training. So many people come into college, big, fast, strong, and you have to be able to compete with them.
Right. Looked like it was a good catch by Haley Schindler, but a turn and another D. It's always fun to see some of these new players pick it up for the first time. I think the senior girls at Catholic all have just played within the last year. There's a former player, Kara Meyer, that used to play soccer that is a big Ultimate player in Louisville now. Christy Cochran with the D.
Another gender mismatch there, but she doesn't matter to her.
No, Christy's fast.
Yeah.
Caleb Montgomery to Josh Wu.
That's a great find.
A bending flick to Mason Montgomery, wide open in the back corner.
Playing at Catholic and around Lexington for a while, I remember both Josh and Micah when they were first starting to learn to throw. And seeing them now, it's just absolutely insane how much better they've gotten.
It's amazing how intertwined the teams are. Josh and Micah actually played 1 year with Catholic before Pi was formed. Looks like the score is 6-2. Team Pi. with about 7.5 minutes left on the clock before halftime. It'll be interesting to see what kind of adjustments are made or in the half. So you've been to a lot of tournaments. What are some highlights or some places that you've gone that people might be surprised by where you've played? And I know Mike Rudy said he traveled the world playing Ultimate. I know you've been at some of those tournaments too. So
Mike probably already talked about this one, but Windmill Windup in Amsterdam it's the furthest tournament I've ever been. We went to Europe specifically for this tournament, and we made a trip out of it as well. We traveled for about 2 weeks beforehand. But that was absolutely the greatest tournament I've ever been to.
What's it like playing internationally? I mean, we have the spirit of this game, the spirit of the games, and mutual respect. But then when you see that across cultures, it just seems like it would be an incredible thing to be a part of.
I would say European teams that I played against almost had better spirit than most local teams or American
What do you mean?
teams.
I mean, how would you describe that?
At the end of every single game, you get in a circle, you lock arms with each other, and you just talk about how much fun the game was. You give each other compliments. Lots of teams play fun games afterwards. You know, it's about the community and the spirit and being friends. And
oh, big huck. So wide open Jake Hughes for the score. Catholics made a little adjustment here. That was a good put. It's really hard in the wind. I mean, when you're going with the wind blows the disc down. You're going against the wind, it gets all swilly. It hangs up in the air.
It was also a great read by the receiver.
It was. Josh Wu was in decent position, but that disc just it's too high for him. Looks like the wind has died down, even though there's kind of a misting rain. The flag's not moving now, so.
Yep. The mist is still going to make that disc really slippery. I think both teams are kind of used to it by now, though.
So, Michael, you've played on a couple club teams too. You want to tell us about the club teams you played on?
My first year out of high school, going into freshman year of college, I played for a team called Breakers Mark that was based out of Lexington here in town.
And Coach D-High down there, who's standing in
that is correct.
on the sideline of Pi, was your captain, right?
That's right. I played summer league with D-High for that that in-between year, and he convinced both Mike Rudy and myself to come out and play club, and that's what had me hooked. I didn't know that it existed before that point, and as soon as I found out about that, I was hooked. I played for 3 years for Breakers Mark, and then when that disbanded, I played 2 years for a team out of a combined team, Lexington-Louisville, called Kentucky Flying Circus. And then
KFC's doing pretty good. They made regionals
really
this year.
Well. That's right. And then this past
oh,
summer,
another huck. For a score. Clutch grab.
And Catholic's making a little bit of a run here towards the end of the first half.
Back to 2.
Looks like a clutch grab from Xander Irwin.
Last time tonight's cut into the lead.
Xander's a freshman.
I was able to rebound.
5'9", handler cutter. I believe he played in middle school at TLS under Coach Griggs there. Man, I really wish there was more middle school ultimate. So many ultimate players have come out of TLS with both John Platt and Joe Griggs. And with Joe Griggs leaving, I hope they continue that ultimate Frisbee elective.
More middle schools need to create teams, but also more high school teams need to create teams. That'll bump up the local community so much if we have more high school teams. And really, that's on a lot of the club players to continue to build.
It'll be interesting if Pi makes any adjustments here. Catholics on a 2-0 run, fighting their way back. It's 6-4. There is 2 minutes and 44 seconds until halftime. We're playing a little modified format here. 1 timeout per half. 5-2 or 6-1, offense decides, and Pi has two ladies on the field. Looks like Olivia Denny, maybe the only middle schooler on the field, and Sharon Archie.
Lexington Pi looks to respond to this short run by the Flying Knights.
A little give and go between Josh Wu and Caleb Montgomery. Josh Wu wide open for a floater from Mason. Caleb with a nice quick break there. And Nate to Caleb Montgomery. To Josh Wu just outside of the end zone. And a timeout is called. Wise call with a minute and 37 seconds.
So going back to club experience, a group of us this year also resurrected the black lung team that competed back in the late 90s, early 2000s.
You guys have some pretty sick jerseys. The black letters
Black
on
black.
the black.
Yeah. We got a lot of compliments about those this year.
No, if you ever make nationals, I don't know if they let you ride with
I
them.
don't
They're
know.
not going to be able to see the letters,
Exactly.
but they are pretty sick. You could,
One thing we didn't think about, or one thing we did think about and decided to ignore was the black and the heat of summer. It was a hot summer for sure.
right? There are many of the original Black Lung players in the community that still play some summer league. And I got a message from one of them. Mark Strevels had mentioned that the first great Grandmaster tournament was played in August
Wow.
in, I believe, New Jersey. And it was 50 and over. So
If you're still playing Ultimate at 50 years old, that's impressive. Let's see what kind of play they have set up here.
the original Black Lung went to Nationals in 2000, 2001 in the Masters division. I'm sure they're really happy that the Black Lung name has been resurrected.
I remember seeing black lung jerseys at high school practice. That's what started it all for us.
Be interesting what the play call is here. And a little miscue there. Looked like a zipper play. Looked like the first two cutters cut out and the third cut in. It's kind of hard to tell.
That's what it looked like to me here.
Catholic has about a minute and 17 seconds to bring it within one. And a layout D
Great D.
from Jake McEachern. Josh Wood with a high backhand to Nate Maddox, and Nate Maddox back in a layout D again. Looked like that was Xander Irwin with the layout D, and now Caleb Montgomery on the other side.
It looks like we have a stoppage on the field, but play is continuing.
Everything's self-called, picks, fouls, and when you see those stoppages, those are one or the other. There's another turnover, and Irwin's looking downfield, a little short. Caleb Montgomery again, and a slippage.
Team Pi is really all over these deep pucks.
A nice inside-out flick from John Thiesing. And that is half. Mike, thanks for joining me up here
Thank
in the
you
booth.
for having me.
Look forward
Great
to
time.
hearing from Preston and some of the other gang.
And we finish with the score Lexington 5-6.
Collins Bowling Center, Eastland and Southland. And White, Greer, and Maggard Orthodontics, Traditional Bank, and the Lexington Clinic.
time will be 10 minutes.
I'm David Wu, head of the house system, and I'm joined here by Preston Goulson, the coach of the University of Kentucky Wildcats, also a club player at the University of Illinois. You want to tell us a little bit about your background? And you played at Henry Clay too, right?
I did indeed. Actually, in fact, I'm wearing my old Henry Clay jersey right
Oh.
now. So, I figured I would bring a little bit of local pride.
The Grapes
into,
of Wrath.
That's right, Grapes of Wrath. Good times. No, so I'm from Lexington. I played at Henry Clay, and I went to the University of Illinois, played there for 4 years, and was fortunate enough to be on a team that made it to College Nationals in 2013, where we placed 17th, which was it was a really remarkable experience. It was a lot of fun.
What did it take to make it to College Nationals in a nutshell, if that's possible?
It obviously took a lot of teamwork. So we were pretty unfancied throughout the year because we didn't have that stud, that Callahan Award nominee that most teams have to get to that high level. But we banded together, and we also used a little bit of a chip on our shoulder because the previous year we'd come very close to securing Nationals qualification, and just it slipped away from our fingers at the last moment, and that was really a motivating thing throughout the year. So it was the light at the end of our tunnel, our golden egg almost to inspire us to move on.
Well put. Everybody wants the golden egg.
Right. That's right. Yeah.
Well, what about coaching at UK?
It's awesome. So I'm from around here, so I grew up playing with some of the UK players just around town and rec leagues and high school as well. Actually, one of my favorite memories from high school ultimate is playing a game against Lexington Catholic on this field right here, and it was like in front of thousands of adoring fans, and it was a great time. And so I knew a lot of those guys from around then, and they asked me if I wanted to help out. And I always really wanted to coach because it's just a different way to look at the game. It's a different form of exposure to it. When you're on the field, you're looking at everything, and it's a very active thing, whereas obviously on the sidelines, more of a cerebral approach, but also man management and development. So there's a lot of things that go into coaching, which makes it a really, really fun challenge. I enjoy the time that I spend at practice, at tournaments, and even social events, hanging out with all these dumb kids. It's a good time.
Good times.
Yeah, indeed. But yeah, it's UK Ultimates. It's great. We've had a very strong turnout this year. We attended our first tournament of the season last weekend, where we were able to have the numbers to take 2 teams. So a lot of our players are rookies. So it's a very different coaching environment to some of the more major sports. So John Calipari isn't having to teach the game of basketball to his players every single year, whereas with something like Ultimate Frisbee, a lot of the times you're taking people who they might have played in high school a little bit, but they don't really have that huge experience playing the game. So you've almost got to teach them everything from the ground up from day one. And so early in the season, it's tough because people might not even know how to throw. They might not have a good idea how to play defense, and offensive formations confuse them. So it's all about giving them a good base and then slowly building up on that so they can be the excellent ultimate players that they are inside.
Right. Say something about your captains. You want to name your captains and maybe what they bring to the table?
Absolutely. We have 2 captains, Wee Yang and Austin Obenauf. They're both.
Wee's a Henry Clay grad,
Wee
right?
is also a Henry Clay grad. Yeah, he came in a year after I graduated. So unfortunately, we were never able to play together at Henry Clay. But Wee and Obi are both juniors, and they're both really, really excellent defensive players. They're a lot of fun to watch. They're really enjoying watching this show out here because we're seeing a lot of athletic plays on defense, and that's something they both really, really excel at. We also have President and Treasurer, President Pramod Venkatesh and Stephen Hendrickson. Pramod is also a junior, and Stephen's a sophomore. So we have a pretty young leadership for an ultimate team, which
bright
is
future. Oh
yeah, it's awesome. It gives us a lot to look forward to, not only this year, but then next year. Not only will they become better players, but they'll be better leaders as well. And it takes time for people to learn how to run an ultimate team, and that applies to the captains as well. And they're doing a wonderful job with it. I'm really proud of it.
It's amazing how just a solid temperament along with the skills and everything else go a long way. Say something about spirit of the games for people who don't know anything about it.
Spirit of the game, it's one of the things that makes this game really awesome. It's because with Ultimate, so since it's self-officiated, you don't have referees. You have only at very high levels do you have even observers who are sort of arbiters of the game. So playing a clean game, you have to you have to trust in your opponents, and you also have to trust in yourself that you're making accurate calls and being just and fair in the way it is. And sometimes people have disagreements, but you resolve them and you move on, and you also in the end learn something. There's every week I learned something new about the game of Ultimate that I didn't know before. Just this past weekend, I learned a new rule that I had no idea.
I learned the same rule, and I think it's very interesting. When we had that controversial call, and I got my way on that call, and I was convinced I was right on the rules. And when I found out that I wasn't right on the rules,
to be fair,
it's amazing that you're here with me today. After I remember afterwards praying, God, how can I can't make that right. We advanced because of a bad call.
Well, but at the same time, it's something that I was absolutely 100% convinced you were right. So within Spirit of the Game, we came to an agreement, and while it didn't end up being the right agreement, the fact that we came to it in an amicable fashion, and that we were still able to after that take it as a learning experience and say, well, this is something that I always thought was completely different. So it's nice to know that now, and if this comes up in the future, we know it, and we can once again continue with Spirit of the Game and keep the game moving forward in a friendly fashion.
Well, to keep us off track, I just want to say the maturity of character from you and Michael, and it is amazing, and I just so am rooting for the Cats, the Disc Cats as much, if not more, than the basketball and the football Cats, and you have a lot of great, promising players, and I'm sorry that didn't happen like it should have, but I expect you guys to really do well this year.
Yep, I do too. Well, thank you for your kind words. We really appreciate that. I think we've got something special brewing too. It's going to be we've been making progress every year since I've been here working with these guys, and can't wait to see what comes up in the spring. So it's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun.
Right. Okay. Well, looks like they're playing again.
All right. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you.
I would imagine that these teams are going to try to do a little bit better job, maybe getting the disc off of the trap sideline. We saw a lot of both teams, in fact, just trying to cram it up the cram side, for lack of a better word. There wasn't as much break action as I think both coaches would have liked to have seen. So what I might expect to see is get some more handler movement in there, some more fakes on the disc, and get a little bit more pivoting, or just a little bit more effort to try to get the disc off the break side, because when you're trying to force it up that narrow alley, it just doesn't give you a lot of space to look at, and especially in these windy and wet conditions like this, that makes life really, really tough.
Looked like they were trying to force a lot of floaters to the break side instead of the dump swings or the quick breaks.
And I think that was also part of the problem is they tried those floaty break throws and saw that a couple of those didn't work. So I guess we're never going to get it to the break side. But if they spend a little bit more effort going for the shorter passes, and that's really key for a windy and wet day like this, which is why you see a lot of teams running zone off or zone defense. You got to keep those throws short in order to have a higher level of success.
Right. Catholic really had a few breakout hucks towards the end of the first half and quick strike throws.
They did. Those were some awesome plays out there. It was some really great athleticism, and like I can't stress this enough. These are some trying conditions. So going up there and skying the disc with one hand, that's a really tough play to make. But I wouldn't say that Catholic would hope to rely on that as their one form of offense, because that is a relatively low percentage throw. But hey, you got to get the crowd into it.
They're exciting when they do break out.
Give the people what they want. We've got a good crowd here, and they're coming here for some entertainment, and they definitely got that on those last few points. That's for sure.
And I think the wind had died down those last few points. The flag's flying again.
Yes, it is, and you see the rain drifting from left to right here in the press box. If you look up in front of the light over there, so yeah, it's still a little bit nasty out there. But I tell you what, playing in conditions like this, it's sort of like getting into a cold pool. Like right off the bat, it really doesn't feel very good at all. And get used to the water, it's fine. So you can run around and when you lay out, you slide for a long way, and that's always a blast. And then getting around to this time is when it gets a little bit mentally trying again, because your fingers are still cold, you're still really wet, it's still windy. So this is when you got to be really, really disciplined as an ultimate player. String together some passes and not take these huge risks. So we'll see how they do in the second half. I'm looking forward to it.
It looks like we have 7 on each of the
It's kind of hard to believe how many fans are still here.
I know, right? It
looks like some people are here for the long haul.
This is a great turnout for a relatively. This is ultimate Frisbee weather. This is ultimate Frisbee weather through and through. I can tell you that. Playing at Illinois, we were fortunate enough to play all of our ultimate in the Midwest, which is where I'm sure all of you know that's where the best weather is. Yeah, I have distinct memories of playing in Chicago in 30-mile-an-hour winds with 20-degree temperatures and driving snow. That was a blast. So compared to that, this is a cakewalk.
Well, D-High, who's standing in on Pye's sideline, has his experience at Western Kentucky.
Yep.
And he was captain there for 3 years.
Yep.
And he was also the founder of Breaker's Mark, which you played on.
Yeah, David High is one of the formative figures in my ultimate experience. See a little turnover right at the goal line for Pye. See if LexCath can convert right off the bat. Yeah, David High is a really, really intelligent ultimate player, and we have a goal.
Jake finds the open cutter.
That's how you start the half off with a bang, isn't it, Coach?
Yep, this could be a different half.
That's
44.
Right.
Sorry, I didn't realize my mic was on there, but 44.
44
is the one that scored.
Looks like Jake Hughes with the score.
Jake Hughes
found that sweet open spot in the middle.
I had the opportunity to play on a summer league team with Jake Hughes a couple years ago, and he's
so fast.
Oh, he's so fast. This was a couple years ago too, before he really hit his stride. But playing with him, you could just tell that he was going to be something good, and he's not disappointed. That's for sure. And he's got a sweet hat on this half too. I'll tell you what. But yeah, David High, he's a great ultimate mind and still kicking. He's living.
Played on Black Lung this last year.
Played on Black Lung this past summer, even though despite the fact that he's a happily married family man, I don't know why he would take the time to hang out with us lunatics. But yeah, he's a lot of fun to play with because he really knows what he's talking about. He has, like I said, a great ultimate mind down there on the sideline with Pye. And he's got a really good backhand huck. So, and for someone like me who enjoys cutting deep, that's a godsend right there. It is wonderful to have a man like that where you can just go to the end zone, he'll put it in the big box.
Still has a lead.
He's got an interesting combination of fire, intellect, and he's funny too.
Oh yeah, yes, he is.
You never know what side he's going to show.
That is absolutely true. He's one of those unique players where you convert a really good play, but it wasn't just right, and he'll chew you out a little bit for it, but then he'll make a joke about it a couple points later. So yeah, he's a really great guy to play for. He was an excellent captain for Breakers Mark. Great grab, Mason. Excellent captain for Breakers Mark, and an excellent leadership figure on Black Lung. He's one of those. Now that he's sort of forfeited his captainship roles, he's become one of those clubhouse leaders, which is really important.
Well put.
Really, really important for a team to have someone other than an official leadership person that they can come to and talk to about Ultimate. Talk about things they like or that they don't like. Because as much as we're all friends on an Ultimate team, when you're a captain, you're still part of the leadership. So sometimes people are a little bit reticent to talk about sensitive topics like playing time or formations and things like that. So
right, looks like Pie's playing a zone here for the first time.
I was wondering when that was going to happen.
Little adjustment. It's a 1-point game, 6-5. Pie.
Right. Got to bring out
Catholics
the big guns.
Scored the last 3 points, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
what
nice
a
break throw down the middle. Beautiful. It's like Jake Hughes.
Good patience by Jake Carrico right there. Good patience.
Up.
Oh boy.
And into the end zone. Mason Montgomery from across the field.
And that is what zone defense thrives on, making you get just impatient enough so you can toss it up there and you have a monster like Mason roaming around back there. Yeah, he'll come down with that disc every time. Good defensive set from Pie. Bend but don't break.
Mason is 6'3", and he can move.
Yes, he can. He's got a set of wheels on him. He's also got some really good throws too, as evidenced by the fact that he's back there handling. Setting up again.
Christy Cochran playing the chase position. Or the rabbit.
The rabbit. Now, what do you think about them playing?
Oh, a layout from Caleb.
Now on UK, we would reward him with a Frosty. We have a policy where if you get a layout D, then I will buy you a Frosty. And I tell you what, those kids almost made me bankrupt last weekend. They were flying all over the field.
Well, it's good to hear that they're doing what they're supposed to be.
Oh, I was begrudgingly happy about it. Nice throw, just a little bit too far.
Had a wide open Jacob Taylor, I think, but the throw was a little low.
So, Coach, what do you think about this plan of throwing a zone when they're going downwind? You think is the prevailing wisdom with zone defense is that you want to do it when it's upwind, because if you throw a zone downwind, then there's a good chance that they could just huck right over the top of it. But
well, I think with Mason in the back, and I think with consecutive points scored, it's just an adjustment that maybe Coach D-High is trying here.
Yep, I agree 100%. I agree. You were in the right position. Zone is all about the right circumstances, right environment. So,
Jake Hughes is a serious popper.
Yes, he is.
He can really find that seam. And
yep, absolutely.
He's coming in now. Oh, another layout and a drop.
I believe we can classify that as an intimity. That's a fun
side.
Intimity.
I've heard about these intimities.
Yeah, that's right. Once or twice. Yeah.
Could you explain the intimity?
An intimity is when you do enough on defense where it's really just the definition of a hustle play. So you probably aren't going to be able to touch the disc, but if you are working really hard and you lay out, there's a good chance that your
psychological force
the
causes
psychological
the turn.
force, absolutely. So they hear footsteps maybe, or you bid in front of the disc and your hand obscures it briefly so they can't see it. All these things factor in, and they can make it really difficult to catch a pass, especially once again in these relatively unforgiving conditions.
Ooh. Oh, another D. No, that was a real D.
That was a real D, absolutely.
So McEachern with the intimity and the real D.
That's 1.5 Frosties right there. It's a nice back and forth point. There's not too much bad play.
A little dump swing there.
This has pretty much been good play this entire point. Good offense and good defense. That's exactly what we want to see here.
It's 6-5 in the second half.
Oh, perfect.
And a give and go from Caleb Montgomery to Joshua Wu. Makes it 7-5.
Tell you what, that quick game that's how you beat a zone or beat a windy day. run with these quick, short passes, and you can walk into the end zone with that.
You got some speed on UK's team. I'm curious, you guys ever time your 40s and kind of compare to other sports?
We haven't yet. We'll probably do that come the winter. So when it reaches winter time and the daylight gets short and the temperatures get cold and the fields freeze, so you can't earn your frosties without breaking several bones. We head inside and we do a lot more conditioning work during the winter. So that's something that we'll be doing around then. We'll be working on sprints. We'll be working on footwork. And we'll do some fun stuff. We'll do some competitions, testing 40s, maybe testing some vertical jumps, and do some other of the NFL combine drills. It's always fun to have a little bit of friendly competition, especially when it comes to fitness and conditioning, things like that. It's nice to have that rabbit to keep chasing.
Well, I think we mentioned Barb Maloney and D. High or David High, but Matt Brown actually played under David High at Western Kentucky his first year.
Yep.
And Matt ended up becoming the captain at Western Kentucky, and he went on to play on the open team Louisville, and this summer he played on the Lexington mixed team.
Mm-hmm.
And he's also the sports commissioner for the Bluegrass State Games.
Yep. Yeah, Matt Brown does a ton of work in this community for Ultimate. So yeah, I've once again had the good fortune of playing with him on club teams before, and also on he and I played a Summer League Rec this year, which was a blast. We won Summer League Rec for the first time, and I felt like Peyton Manning getting that weight off my shoulders. It was a good time. Great pull.
Back when high school used to have nationals, Matt was one of the youngest players on the 2002 Lexington Catholic team that went to nationals, and both Coach Matt and Coach Barb played in the 2005 Club Mixed Junior Nationals in Minnesota, so they have a lot of experience.
Yes, they do. Yeah, that's awesome. I remember. Yeah, I was also fortunate enough as a high school senior to go to Eastern Nationals with Henry Clay High School, and that was, we got stomped, but we had a great time. It was a great ultimate learning experience.
It's incredible seeing the talent out there.
Absolutely. It's just because you think that you're pretty hot stuff if you're a good ultimate player in the city of Lexington, but then you go out there into the world and you see that there are other players out there who have had some great coaching and just super athletic, and it's really cool to see. It's a humbling experience. It makes you work harder, but at the same time, I think the high school ultimate scene in Lexington is still moving. It's got some good momentum these days, that's for sure.
Daniel Hardy with several touches in the zone here. Catholic's doing a lot better with their short, safe passes, and that's the way to beat a zone.
Mm-hmm. Although,
little too much on that floater.
Although I tell you what, those 30-yard invert flicks through the zone have been pretty fun to watch too. Maybe not for the possession fiend, but just pure spectacle. Those are good. Oh, there it is.
And Mason hits Jacob Taylor for a little huck there. Jacob Taylor is a Spartan racer, actually has a sponsor.
Goodness gracious. That is a great grab.
Good cut for a catch. Looks like this is going to be a call, whether it's in or out.
It was really close. It looked like his shoulder might have landed on the line. So they're having a discussion down here. So he's calling himself.
And the call is in.
Calling himself in. It was really close. That was one of those where it's a good enough catch where if it's close, I think that's fair.
Could you explain the rule, in or out?
Sure, absolutely. So when you are catching the disc, you have to be able to maintain possession with 1 foot inbound. So it's very much like college football.
Or the rare point of contact if you're diving and you catch it with your left hand and you put your finger inbounds.
Yep, that is
the 1 point of contact.
1 point of contact. That's all you need. So yeah, just like so most of the time, obviously, it's your foot, but sometimes
usually it's one toe.
Yeah,
right?
Usually it's one toe. Sometimes if you're trying to bid, you have to get creative with what body part you can get inbound. But then there are also times when you can't catch the disc while you're inbound. So maybe you attempt a world's greatest where you jump out of bounds, catch the disc. And
why don't you explain the world's greatest? People have not heard of this.
People have not heard of this because it's a very rare thing. World's greatest is where it's a pretty accurate description. The disc is flying out of bounds, and you realize you can't reach it while it's in bounds, so you jump out of bounds, catch the disc, and throw it back into the field of play where your teammate catches it, all in one motion. And they're incredibly rare. I've seen only a couple in my life, and they're a real reason to get up out your seat. And they're very cool spectacles, that's for sure.
I'm going to hand this mic over to Brian Hawes for a minute here and let you guys
just chat a little bit.
Brian Hawes has returned back to the booth.
He's
good to have him.
Just couldn't get enough. He had to come back again. How you doing, Brian?
Pretty good.
Good.
Let me get this mic adjusted.
I'm gonna have to be sure to call you by your first name, not your last name.
Yeah, it's as you like.
Well, so we're having a really good game right here. The competition has definitely stepped up a little bit in the last. Yeah, even going back to the last 10 minutes of the first half, it was looking a little bit one-sided, but Lexcath has made a really good push back into this game.
I think both teams have kind of started to adjust to the weather conditions and get used to the rain and the cold. And
well, especially when you're a young player in high school.
Sure.
These are not necessarily things that you play in, especially in high school in Lexington, Kentucky. These are not conditions that you play in most of the time, especially during your practice time during the summer and all that.
Yeah, it's abnormally cold and wet for early October anyway.
Even for beginning of October, yeah. It's certainly not favorable, but something that this experience will definitely be good for them, and also be good for all these fans out here. They're earning some serious friends points. I tell you what, for showing up to this game, watching their friends play some awesome ultimate frisbee in a.
And there was a nice bid layout.
That was, yeah. So David and I were talking about how we've seen Lexcath sort of simplify their approach a little bit, especially against this pie zone where they're going for a little bit more dink and dunk throws instead of deep hucks and the like, which is how you've got to attack the zone. But then we got a turnover right here on the edge of the end zone.
And now you have an opportunity.
See if Jake can take his time. Oh, great D.
Wow, good D.
So you often hear the mantra of catch your Ds, right?
Yeah.
And we just saw an example right there where we got a tip on the disc, but it could have very easily been caught by a Lexcath player if Pi hadn't cleaned up the mess there a little bit. So that was good job by Pi.
And there's the deep cut.
Great put.
And
that's a great put.
That's a great put.
Great put, Josh.
In these weather.
Well done.
So is that Joshua in the third?
That is Joshua, yeah, right there. So something I like to see a little bit more often because we've had these hucks a lot, but then we've had the players rushing past the thrower. You think we've had the players rushing past the thrower, and what I like to see right there is instead of everybody rushing upfield and trying to get to the end zone as fast as they can, I like to see some players come back for a dump, just reset the stall count, give everybody a little bit more time to
There's
get
that
a good
high release
offensive
flick
set going.
Oh, look, we got some Revolution guys that have entered the booth.
What do you know? I believe.
Yep, absolutely. I will hand that off to
All right, we've got Kane Olson back on here, and so not only Kane, not only are you a Revolution player, but you're also a former Henry Clay Ultimate player, just like myself, aren't you?
Yep, former Grape of Wrath.
Grape of Wrath, that's right. And not only that, but you were lucky enough to coach a certain Henry Clay team that went to Eastern Nationals, I believe it was. Was that 2000? Was I on that team?
You were on that team.
I was on that team. Oh, that was good times. Good times indeed. So, Kane, tell us a little bit about your ultimate background.
Well, I started out playing in high school with Henry Clay. I guess when I was a junior, and man, we didn't have near as many, good athletes like there are, out on the field today.
Yeah, and that's something that David and I were talking about is just how good these players look as opposed to just even 4 or 5 years ago.
I know, and the area as a whole has grown.
It's a testament to the quality of the work that our local coordinators do. So, oh man, we're having some umbrellas flip inside out here. So it's a testament to the local coordinators that are setting up rec leagues, and also just a testament to the high school coaches. And there we got nearly moment for Lexcath there.
Well, no, and then played club for a few years. Went to UK.
Now you played for Louisville, correct?
Louisville,
open team out of Louisville,
right?
Yeah.
And then I guess went on to play in the Pro League since the inaugural year when they started out actually in Lexington.
That's right.
We played at Henry Clay.
Yep, that's right. I remember that.
But now they're in Cincinnati now, and one goes up.
Ooh. Now, Sienna, that's really close. I thought she was going to try for a world's greatest there. The previously discussed world's greatest. So that's another point for Lexcath. Clawing their way back into this game.
Sophie Tenier for
Sophie Tenier with the score, bringing it down in like a pro. That was a really, really good read on a really tough throw. That's a very hard, think back to Hank Aaron. That's a really tough catch to make going over your shoulder.
Especially
like
over the shoulder, yeah.
Absolutely.
And
floating
wet conditions, yep.
Oh, she is hyped too. Look at her.
Oh, there, Lex Cass back within 2. So.
Got quite the game on her hands. So, tell us a little bit about the differences. So, tell us a little bit about the AUDL in general. So, what are some of the differences between that and the ultimate that we're seeing on display tonight?
Okay. Well, basically, it starts with a bigger field, and that changes up a lot of the offenses you can run, or makes it a lot easier on offense, I would say. Just because the defense has a lot of ground to cover.
Yeah, and you have a lot more space to find
right.
when you're an offensive player.
Right. And so that gives the offense, you have more space to swing the disc and huck it up the field.
So what sort of scores or so how does the game work? So is it a point capped or is it time capped or what are we looking at here?
We're looking at a time cap, kind of like we're doing tonight. USAU, they'll do a point cap usually to 13 or 15.
Correct.
But the pros is you'll have 4 quarters. I believe they're still at 15 minutes a quarter. And then it's just whoever scores the most points wins.
Yeah.
Which can be a little different because you'll see a lot of just hucks go up at the end of a quarter or
get buzzer beater action.
Right, which you won't see in USAU a lot.
Just curling away from him a little bit too much. Even is that Jake Hughes? Even Jake Hughes couldn't get to that one. It's a tough one.
But you'll see in the pro leagues a lot of exciting plays that you wouldn't see in maybe USAU because every score matters,
right?
Because you don't want to turn it over, but when you're fighting against the time, you're just trying to score.
So does that make the ultimate on display a little bit more hectic since you're fighting against the clock, or is it still a little bit more deliberate?
It does, especially when you're getting to the end of a quarter.
Sure.
It's like, oh, you only have 30 seconds left.
Right.
How can we move the disc up real quick, or we're gonna hit this guy and then he's just gonna huck it because we only have 3 seconds to throw it.
Speaking of running a frenetic offense, Pi is just mowing down the field right now. That was some nice 1-2 action and then some strike cuts.
Yep,
looking good. Stagnated a little bit here, but
Young Woo
that's right. Out there dishing and dunking. We're stagnated a little bit now that we're near the end zone. Ooh, and easy turf from Pi. There's those conditions coming in though. Again, that's downwind throw. That's just tough to judge on that. Yeah. So in the past few years, we've seen an uptick. Even if we want to get as shallow as seeing ultimate plays on SportsCenter Top 10, we're seeing a lot more of those now that the AUDL is in effect because you do have the opportunity for those big plays where having people laying out or skying 3 dudes or
big
what
plays and the games are they're televised or more accessible and it's really a collection of the top talent in those ultimate cells. So it's like one game a week, and so everybody's playing as hard as they can.
Sure.
So you get some of the top talent doing some pretty crazy things.
Yeah. So one thing that you were a very good cutter, and one thing that I've been noticing throughout this game is that a lot of people have been dropping the disc on easy throws when they're trying to attack it with one hand, or they're not trying to clap catch. Is that something that you've been noticing a little bit? It seems like people are trying too hard to snag the disc out of the air when it's floating a little bit and wobbling in the wind here.
Oh yeah, I mean especially in these conditions, you just want to make sure you get 2 hands on it. Ooh, what a good D!
That's a great D, Christy Cochran. Nice job. Way to undercut that route.
I mean, you really just want to keep your eye on the disc and clap catch it. I was taught it's an alligator, so
that's right.
Alligator has teeth.
That's right. And that's something that I see a lot with young players. Hey, speaking of clap catch, and that is in the end zone.
Clap catch in the end zone. Yeah.
Great grab from Pi. There's another goal for Pi on the board. Looking at 9-6 now. Yeah. So there you go. Fundamentals. Clap catch that disc instead of. Although in that situation, more often than not, in good conditions, you would want to attack that one a little bit harder. But
but I think we can give him a rain check on this one.
I mean, but fundamentals are good. Yeah, rain check. Yeah, fundamentals are always good. I mean, even at the top levels, because how many times have you seen somebody go for one hand and you two hands for
absolutely
beginners,
people try to make it look good instead of making
just making the catch.
What looks good is scoring the disc and not necessarily the way that you score it. So,
all right, you
okay.
Well, I'm gonna pass you off to one of my Rev buddies, Revolution. So,
Kane, it's been great talking to you again.
Good talking to you. So.
Now we got Darren Graves on the line now. How you doing, Darren?
I'm doing well, Preston. How are you, bud?
I'm doing great. I'm enjoying a wonderful night of Ultimate. So, Darren, you played at University of Louisville, and then you played you played club for KFC. But you also are playing for the Revolution. So,
yes.
Where does your Ultimate background? This is all these things you've been playing these in the last 3 years. So you've sort of had a chance to judge them all as their own sort of entity.
Definitely.
So I mean, I'm not going to ask you to rank which one is best, but talk about how they all sort of fit together, because they all are different sort of forms of Ultimate.
They're all different, but if there's a common similarity between it all, it's really just spirit of the game. It's what the whole game is built around, is the spirit, and you can just see even from down to these high schoolers up to the pro, the people love the sport.
Mm-hmm.
They love playing it. They love battling the competitiveness of it. So I guess a lot of people even love playing in these conditions out here with the rain and the wind. It's
a perverse sort of joy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just a great part of the game.
Turnover from Lexcath there. Pi's got a short field to work with now. Yeah. So tell us a little bit then about AUDL and how you think it's affecting the overall Ultimate. So Kane touched a little bit on it's more accessible now. How do you think AUDL, and that's American Ultimate Disc League, correct? And about how that's impacted the overall shape of the Ultimate game in the U.S.
It's made a huge impact. The Pro League, it's better to get this sport out here. I mean, the Pro League is still so young. It's only been around for 4 or 5 years, and it's only going to continue to grow. As you said, it's been on SportsCenter. It was a lot of it's a highlighted sports show, and to see a couple guys like AJ Nelson play for Chicago Wildfire, get on the I think number 2 play for this monster layout for his score in the end zone.
Pie breaks freed. Can we hook up with them? I want to see that.
Should have laid out.
Should have laid out. It's a great day for layouts, isn't it? Nice and wet on some turf.
Wet, soft ground when it's wet.
See him slide for 10 yards after that one.
Oh, it'd be a lot of fun.
Sorry, you were saying.
No, you're fine. So the ADL, there's a lot of you get a lot of that drive, a lot of the superstardom. Whereas in club level Ultimate, you've got 1 or 2 guys that you really have to focus on. Whereas in the pro, every single guy is that 1 or 2 stud on the club team. So you really have to respect everybody out there and really give it your all. And it's just a lot of fun, and it's a lot of fun that everybody can be out there and enjoy it.
And you mentioned AJ Nelson, who not only does he play for Chicago Wildfire, but he plays for Chicago Machine. So he plays AUDL and Chicago Machine, and one of the premier Club Ultimate teams in the country. So Club Ultimate or USU Club Nationals is going on right now in Texas, isn't it? So
yes, it is.
Machine actually played an excellent quarterfinals game earlier this afternoon against Ring of Fire out of North Carolina, and that was I tell you what, that was
without Justin Allen though.
That's right.
He's working from what I've heard.
That is
sad.
That's unfortunate.
So sad. Sad.
That is unfortunate. But yeah, so it was a great game, and so Club Nationals are going on right now, and that sort of competition. There's been an agreement now where we can watch that on ESPN3. So that's going to be going on this weekend. So if you're interested in watching some more Ultimate after this game is over, Pie scoring again through Mason Montgomery again. Got 10-6 Pie now with about 14 minutes left in the game. So yeah, I mean, if you're out there in the internet world, if you're interested in listening and watching more Ultimate throughout the weekend, there's a whole schedule of Ultimate games over the weekend. Both men's semifinals, and then a mixed semifinal and a women's semifinal will all be streamed live on ESPN3.
Absolutely, I highly recommend go watch that. See some high-level Ultimate. These players, and some of them are in college. These people straight out of high school are playing on these national level teams, and It's a lot of fun to watch, and it's especially that ESPN, that localization to get it out there, to broadcast to the new fan base and try and get our sport to grow and
And
turn into
ESPN,
something.
yeah, ESPN's had that deal for a couple of years now, and they've been doing a really good job with it. I've been impressed. Not as good a job as we're doing, of course. But they've been doing a pretty good job of it.
There's not a better color commentator here
that's
than
right.
Preston.
Yeah, it's I believe the men's semifinals on Saturday. The first men's semifinal will be Seattle Sockeye versus Boston Ironside.
That'll be a great game.
That'll be a great game, absolutely. With the second semifinal being the number 1 overall seed Revolver out of San Francisco playing against the aforementioned Chicago Machine. And this is Chicago Machine's first semifinal appearance. I have a little bit of a soft spot for Chicago Machine. My college coach plays for them, and so it's really fun out there watching these guys out there, people that I know, in fact, playing at the highest level of Club Ultimate that's out there right now. So I'm looking forward to tuning in this week.
I hope we should watch it together. I'm actually pulling for Revolver in that one just because
we might have to throw down.
Throw down. The only reason is because my very first club season I played for Louisville, and a guy by the name of Evan Boucher played on that team. Very great ultimate player at the time, and coming from Louisville, he moved out to San Francisco and steadily worked his way up to becoming Bo Kittredge's backup on the Revolver, which is no small feat.
Not a small feat at all.
In the ultimate world.
For those of you out there who don't know who Bo Kittredge is, just YouTube Bo Kittredge jumps over a dude, and
he's he's just the best player arguably in the world as far as ultimate is concerned. 2-time AUDL MVP as well with San Jose Spiders, and pretty much an icon. If you want to play ultimate, just watch the Bo Kittredge and see if that doesn't spark you to get better.
And that's one thing so this is something that we talked about. Oh, we got a big put up into the end zone.
It's
what a grab.
Nice grab.
What a grab from Lexcath. That's a really tough throw.
That was in these conditions.
Going into the wind like that, that is a tough throw.
That was beautiful.
So Lexcath pulls one back, 7-10 with about 11 minutes left in the game. So now we're getting into that frenetic time that Kane was talking about with AUDL, where see if we can get them to back in this game. They got to score quickly.
The adrenaline rushes up. Everybody wants to win. Yeah. So it's good talking with you, Preston.
Talking to you too, Darren.
We'll give it back to the other commentators.
Well, if you think Catholic has enough to bring it back here with 10 minutes left.
I've played enough Ultimate and watched enough other sports to never say never. So
anything is possible.
Anything is absolutely possible. This is this has been a great game so far, and I'm really excited to see these last 10 minutes. And you see Catholic out there holding the disc up, trying to get Pi's attention, trying to get this game restarted a little bit quicker so they can save as much time as possible. That's a great pull from Lexcath. Coast to coast. We got Josh Wu with the pickup here. See if they can patiently work it upfield. This is a really dangerous situation for an offensive line to have going upwind with in a game that's becoming pretty close.
Sharon Archie to Josh Wu to August Detil.
That's some good hot chocolate. Hits the spot on this night. But
Sharon Archie has some handling skills.
Yes, she does. And so this is exactly what the doctor ordered in these conditions. Great grab.
Matthew Denny with the disc.
With Jake breathing down his neck too. That's a tough grab. Yeah, and this is exactly what the doctor ordered for Pi, to work it patiently and have some nice, smart throws. There's no need to rush it. They are in the lead. They're facing the tough environmental conditions, so there's no need for them to throw up something like that. That's the commentator's curse, isn't it? Right as my first time commentating, I've already cursed somebody.
Not too bad for only 2 weeks of playing. That August Dutil, he's new.
Yes, no, that's fine. He'll learn.
And a big throw straight to the end zone. Oh, was that caught or not?
I believe he dropped it. Oh, yep.
It was a great cut.
Yeah, it was a great cut. That hunched over look, I can always tell if this has been a drop. Oh, great deep.
Another turnover.
Lots more pressure.
Another chance for Catholic to close the gap here.
You have to almost be thinking that Pi would be okay with letting them score if they take a lot of time to do it, so that Pi can get the disc going back in some more favorable conditions.
Good point.
I'm not saying let them score, but I'm saying that they won't be overly aggrieved if Catholic's able to punch it in. Oh boy!
Oh, and a layout almost for a score. About 8 minutes and 15 seconds left on the clock.
And those are the sort of mistakes that Lexington Catholic can't afford to make. That's 8 minutes left in the game, down 3. This Pi is cackling and rubbing their hands with glee.
Well, it's been exciting seeing some of this talent come through the booth this evening.
Oh yeah, it's been seeing all these guys. It's been a good time. We've had some fun in here, haven't we? Ooh, turnover right on the goal line. All right, let's see if Catholic can take advantage of this.
Let's see what they run. What do you think? Maybe
now this
3 or 4 in the
I would
end zone?
imagine it looks like they're trying to run a diagonal stack. What I would love to see in this situation is an isolation cut. So predicate this offense on handler movement with a one cutter downfield as the target, and everybody else almost gets out of the way. But
yep,
ooh,
you're
and
exactly
his
right.
post-op.
One from the back
And there we
for
go.
the score.
Perfect.
Good call.
I wouldn't be a very good coach if I couldn't see that one coming.
I'd like to recognize our sponsors again: White, Greer, and Maggard Orthodontics, Collins Bowling, Eastland, and Southland. This is great bowling weather. It's also great ultimate Frisbee weather. Traditional Bank, wonderful institution, and the Lexington Clinic, taking care of the good folks of Kentucky.
I'll tell you what, I could go for some bowling right now. Yeah.
Hey, those guys over at Collins Bowling, by the way, they got a special going on for people that are watching our broadcast tonight. All you got to do is just mention it, and it's you get $99 worth of entertainment for only $39.95.
Oh boy!
So take your family out there and have some fun.
Now I really want to go bowling. Well, that's awesome. All right, got ourselves a game. Catholic punches it in, 10-8 with about 6.5 minutes left. I think that's just about enough time. If they can act efficiently, if they can get the disc back quickly and then be really, really smart with their offense, because they can get a break here, then they'll have the disc going downwind, or the Pi will have the disc going upwind. So be in that tough situation once again. Great floaty pull. Great pull. Wow.
Wow, terrific. I thought it was out of bounds.
That is about as good as it gets.
They threw it right in the wind there.
Yeah, into the wind, and floaty enough so it gives the defense
Big
a
cut
chance
from
to
the
get
back.
down there and set up, too.
Another cut from the back. Nate Maddox, wide open.
Nate.
Oh, with the turn.
All right. Now they just got to be confident and still make the right play with this. Oh, boy.
Oh!
Great
Jacob
D.
McEachern for another D.
Man alive.
Racking up the D stats
He
tonight.
is flying all over the place. Hey, kids at home, take note. That is how you get a sick D. And you can hear the crowd going crazy. People love it.
Little
Good-
upline
good
pass
upline.
to Caleb, to his brother, Mason Montgomery.
Cramming up the
To
cram
Jacob
side.
Taylor for the score.
Now, Coach, we call those bookends.
Brooklands. What's a Brooklyn?
Bookends. 'Cause
Bookends,
he,
yes.
he gets the D and he punches it in. So throw up those bookends, young man. You deserve it. Great play from Pi. Now that's a really good job. I think they almost killed off that comeback by Catholic, but still some. Like I said, never say never. But that puts them in the driver's seat.
I'm thinking about a library award for the player with the most bookends.
I think that's a good idea. You got to make sure that you differentiate that though from a library card, which is
Right.
someone who needs to learn how to read the disc a little bit better.
We all could read better.
I 100% agree with that. Speaking of reading, I just finished The Martian. Great book. Great book.
Was that made into a movie as well?
It is made into a movie.
I heard it got good reviews. At least in the hallways of
I-
Lexington Catholic, I've heard it got good reviews.
I hope it. The book was really, really good. Nice and sciencey. Makes you think. But also pretty easy for the layperson. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. About 4 minutes left. Definitely is now or never for Catholic. They gotta get a good score quickly.
Lexington Catholic going to need some crowd support in order to get this victory.
PA system is urging the LexCath fans on. Trying to get them to
Catholic
get
with the
behind
completion
their team.
upfield. Two big gains.
Got to be smart here. This is what we talked about earlier. Them getting it stuck on the cram side of the
Big
field.
dump. Where's the swing, though?
That's the question. That's what they've been missing all night. Oh, good swing.
Oh, an attempt at a break there.
Yeah, that's what they've been missing all night. They've been getting dumps off. There just hasn't been a swing pass there. Mason Montgomery just looking to hold the disc and slow this down, get them to bleed some clock here. This is smart from Pi. I love it. Ooh,
Oh,
maybe not
D.
that, though. Go through, Jake.
Jake Carrico gets the D. He's looking for the bookend, isn't he? He's looking
Yes,
for the
he
bookend.
is. Yes, he is. Box
But
out.
can he
Read
read?
this, son. He's looking for the bookend
And he does his
the
library card, too.
Bookend and library card from Jake Carrico. That was awesome. Great play.
I believe Jake would be okay at ballet. He really towed that
He
in
did.
and gracefully.
He also, I like that he towed it when he still had about 2 or 3 more yards from the stretch it, but love the effort, young man.
He had a defender. Josh Wu was right in his face.
Yeah, absolutely. Josh made a good recovery on that one. All right, now it's getting close. 2.5 minutes.
I just want to let the public know about a couple events. There's a Lexington Catholic Open House event on October the 28th from 6 to 8. And actually, there's going to be alumni, Lexington Catholic, and prospective student ultimate Frisbee going on this field. So if you're watching this webcast and would like to come out and play with the Lexington Catholic Knights, you're invited on October the 28th from 6 to 8. And there's also a high school tournament, an open tournament that's going to be in town, Thunder Alley, in October as well.
I think that's going to be a great tournament. That's
hosted by Pi and Lafayette.
Yep, that's going to be a great time. Looking forward to it. Yeah, other high school teams in the town. Uh-oh, Pi with a quick turnover. All right, Catholic, time to go.
It's only a 2-point difference.
Minute 38.
11 to 9.
We need to see some more pace from LexCath here. Good cut, good cut. Oh, no.
Oh,
great grab, Jake
lay
Hughes.
and save. High layout.
Injury called, injury called. Clock has stopped here. It looks maybe just pulled something, I hope. Hope it's nothing too serious. Jake Hughes has been having a great game.
That's Jake Hughes.
He left his feet in the carpet there.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Just reacted and saved the disc.
That's right. You got to lay your body on the line a little bit. And
Oh.
he's better. Good. Still a little bit bouncy.
Jake does some cool guy hops. And play will resume.
Jake's on the track team. One of the nicest students out there.
Does he do the hurdles with those little bunny hops we just saw?
Actually, I'm not sure what discipline he runs in, but I could see him in the hurdles.
Absolutely, absolutely. He's springy.
Well,
coming off the field, so we got to replace
subbed
him.
one Jake out for another.
That's right. A Jake for Jake switch.
Looks like it's Xander Irwin, freshman. This freshman's got skills.
Oh, no.
D by Caleb Montgomery has skills too. Looking a little too far for his big brother there, Mason.
So normally I would not be a fan of that play, but I'm okay with it now since, yeah, that's basically just a first down punt. Trying to get the disc down there, and whoa, what a grab.
I'm wondering if Coach Dehigh had anything to do with that that put earlier. John Thiesing with a foul call here. It's coming back. We're at 48 seconds.
Tap back in. Better go. Put in the big box, Jake. There it is. Just came up a little bit short. That's hucking up wind right there. That's tough business. Now Pi can.
Jared McKay to Mason Montgomery with the turn. 28
Uh-oh.
seconds.
Get
A
him.
chance to bring it within one. And Josh Wu with the D.
Great D, Josh. I think that just about does it. Coach, this has been a great game from both teams. I've been really, really impressed with the ultimate on display here. As we got, just a...
Well, Coach, I hope you get some of these players coming your way in the future.
Yeah, I'll have to go down the field and do my best Calipari impression. See what's
August Dutil with the final score. 12 to 9. Team Pi over Lexington Catholic.
The band is on the field.
That's a dream catch for a player that's in his second week.
Yeah, just started. That's getting a buzzer beater play. That's some pretty good stuff. And now they line up for the customary post-game handshake. I always love this part. Even you leave it out all in the field. hockey players can do it, then Ultimate players can do it too. That's for sure. So really good support from both teams here tonight.
Patrick Fitzgerald. That was nice. Yes. I'll see you later.
Take care. Thanks, man.
Next Saturday, it's all day.
So it was a really well fought game from both teams. I enjoyed that Ultimate on display. It was good. It was all around just what you want to see from this sort of a game. You know, a well contested, pretty clean, like we said, spirit of the game was respected throughout this whole thing, and you know, good fans out here too, and all that fun stuff. So
who knows what the next matchup will hold?
that's right. Maybe we can get some more people out here. And if you go to a high school that isn't out here, so if you go to a Lexington Catholic or a Henry Clay or a Tates Creek or any of those, get out and find your local team. Each one of these schools has a team.
I hear Henry Clay has somebody stepping up to coach
Henry
this
Clay
year.
has a former Black Lung Club player, also someone who he was my roommate for a little bit. Jared Gibson is a great guy, really good Ultimate mind. He's got really good leadership skills. He played 4 years at Denison up in Ohio, and he's going to take that team places. All right, Henry Clay's been down a little bit for the past few years, but I sense a resurgence soon.
It'll be good to see them playing again.
Absolutely. Maybe we can try to get them out here on this field sometime in this beautiful setup that they've got here out of Lexington Catholic. It's been a really fun evening of Ultimate.
Thank you so much for joining us, Preston Goulson, coach, University of Kentucky.
Thanks, David Wu.
Ultimate Frisbee.
Thanks, everybody.
Follow the Cats.
Go Cats.
All the Cats.
Cats by 90. That's right. That's right.
I also want to thank William Warfield for all the setup here and the video cast, and we want to congratulate him for his new addition, even with the new baby this week. He's out here with all of his equipment in the rain and bringing Ultimate Frisbee to the world. I believe, I don't know this, but I believe this is the first video cast of any high school Ultimate Frisbee game in Kentucky, and it has just been a wonderful celebration with all these professional, college, open players coming out, the house system coming out, the homeschool community, the Lexington Catholic community. It has just been an absolute joy. Thank you, William.
Oh, no, thank you for the opportunity, and what a great sport. You guys showed me something new tonight.
And actually, there's another person I want to thank, and I might be able to bring him over before we totally sign off. We got Patrick Maloney over there announcing for us on the other side of the room, but he actually is our youth state coordinator, and for some reason we missed the interview with him at halftime, and so we also have a former team member of Pie in the house, but we want to put him on camera?
Yeah,
let's do that.
Let's do it. You want that other headset right there, and we'll put you guys on over here.
All right, thanks for having me, Dave. That was a really thrilling game. We had a lot of runs from both teams. I think the lead was cut to 1 at one point in the second half, but it looks like Lexington Homeschool Pie was able to hold on for a 3-point victory.
Thank you so much for announcing and all you do for the sport of Ultimate Frisbee, Pat. And, you know, this is Pat. He's the state youth coordinator for Kentucky. And what do you have to say about the future of Youth Ultimate and maybe the championship season in the spring?
Well, this will be, I believe, the 6th year we've hosted a state tournament. Last year, we actually improved to a official sanctioned state championship event.
Which was right here at Catholic last
year. It was right here at Lexington Catholic. We had a lot of help from the Lexington Catholic faculty, including their athletic director, Brad, and he was a great asset to us. And we're looking to repeat that quality event here next spring. We haven't set a date yet, but hopefully we'll be able to add a few more teams and just keep this event going for many years to come.
Well, Pat, thanks for all you do, and we appreciate it, and we hope that more kids will get into the sport. What would you have to say to a kid that's dying to play Ultimate Frisbee, but there's no team at their school?
Well, that's actually pretty common. I think the best thing you can do is talk to your administrators, find out if there is a teacher that would be willing to help out. I've found in the past few years, whenever there is a teacher involved, programs are much more likely to stick around. And other than that, the first thing you can do is just find friends that want to play with you, make announcements at school, and if not, you can contact me at syc_ky@usaultimate.org, and I will do what I can to help you.
Well, thanks so much, Pat. It's been a great evening.
All right, thanks a lot for getting this streaming set up, Dave. It looks like this
Thanks
has been
to William and to Lexington Catholic and Night Vision.
Yep, this was a great event.